So in this video today we're going to cover how to auto-tune your PID settings. There are three reasons why you might want to tune your PID. The first one is that you've changed some part of your setup. So maybe you have more thermal mass on your hot end, or maybe you have more thermal mass on your bed, and because of that your bed or your hot end would react more slowly. Well, you need to change your PID settings to account for that so that your bed heats up in the way that you want it to with this increased thermal mass. The other reason is thermal runaway. Thermal runaway happens when you have a set point temperature and it takes a long time for the system to reach that set point. Marlin has inside of it a safety feature which flags this and says, hey, maybe the temperature sensor is broken, and if that happens, your system could just keep pumping in heat and pumping in heat even when it shouldn't, which could cause a fire. So the thermal runaway safety feature can also mistrigger if you don't have proper PID settings. The third reason why you might need to tune your PID is to improve your print quality. If your hot end's temperature is fluctuating and it's not hitting that set point that you're telling it to, that could cause inconsistent extrusion. If the same thing happens except for to your bed, that could cause a Z-banding that doesn't match up with the thread pitch on your Z-axis threaded rods. Fortunately, Marlin has a built-in function that auto-tunes your PID, and it'll tell you what PID settings to use. And I've typed this function in here. You can use Pronterface or Cura. I'm going to use Octoprint in order to send this command to my printer. And the command is M303, and then C5 here says cycle 5 times, and you'll see what that means in a second. And then this right here tells the printer what temperature you want the hot end to get to. So it's going to tune the PID based on reaching this temperature set point. And I'm actually going to make this 210 because I print with PLA most of the time. So now you just hit send and it starts doing its thing. So we can go over here and look at the temperature, and you can see that the temperature is rising. And now you basically just sit back and relax and let it tune itself. So what you're seeing now is the temperature of the hot end is rising to reach the set point temperature, and now it's cycling, and now you're watching an adult man take a selfie with a Barbie and a unicorn hat on. And it keeps cycling, got up to that temperature, now it's going to cycle 5 times. So there's a Reinhardt Barbie doll, pretty cute. And it's cycled its 5th time now, so it is complete. Okay, so it looks like it's done, and now you just come over here to terminal and it'll tell you the suggested PID values right here. So now there's another command that you can use to make it so that your printer uses these values. So now to save those PID settings, you just use M301, and the syntax is pretty simple. You just put P and then you put in the suggested P coefficient, and you use I and you put in the suggested I coefficient, and then you use D and you put in the suggested D coefficient. After that, you just hit OK, go, and then check this out. You can make sure that it worked correctly by using M503. Let's go see what M503 says. It gives you all of your settings that your 3D printer is using, and you can see right here that the values that I put in are in fact what has been saved there. If you were to just turn off your 3D printer right now, all of those values would go away. So in order to save them permanently, you need to use M500. You just hit enter, and now you have set those PID values permanently. So now we're going to do essentially the same thing, except we're going to do it for the print bed, and really the only thing you need to change is your selection of the extruder. The print bed is extruder -1. That's just how it's defined in Marlin. So you use E-1, and then S75 now has the PID tuned based on reaching a temperature of 75 degrees C, which is more like what your bed wants to reach when you're printing PLA or ABS. So now I just send that command. We go over here to the temperature monitor, and again it should just do everything for me and I don't have to worry about it. So the bed auto-tune completed, and now we have again received the proportional, integral, and derivative terms here. So you can just take these and put them into this command here, and you had to change the command, the M number here, to M304, but besides that, it's basically the same command as what we used earlier. And then you just punch it in, and it says OK, which means it's good. So now, just to be certain that it all worked, I'm going to use M503 and look at the settings that were stored that matches what we just got. So I know that I have input the correct PID values for the bed. And again, to save the settings, you just use M500. And now the settings should be stored permanently. Like and subscribe to learn more about 3D printing and to stay up with the latest news from lithophanemaker.com. And here to the right of the dude with the unicorn hat on and a Barbie doll is a list of my patrons. Please consider becoming a patron to help support lithophanemaker.com. Till next time.